Hi, my name is Gabe Gann, and I'm excited to share this presentation with you today about expectancy violation theory. Now, I'm going to be using examples found in the new Disney Pixar's movie Luca to demonstrate this theory. And the movie is about a sea monster named Luca, and he and his best friend Alberto go out into the world and pose as humans and go on a wild adventure together. All right, so to start things off, I want to do a deeper dive into expectancy violation theory. So anytime that you go into an interaction with someone, you go into that with a set of expectations. And those expectations are often influenced by a number of factors. Some of those factors may be environment, personality types, your relationship with them, age, and I think one of the biggest ones is personal space. So proxemics, that tells us about the use of someone's personal space. Out of these terms, I think social distance is one that we're all too familiar with. So as we know, that's anywhere from 6 to 10 feet, somewhere in that range. Public distance is further than that. Personal distance is closer, usually within a couple feet from each other. And then intimate distance is even closer still. So threat threshold, that tells us if the distance becomes a threat, if it becomes too close for comfort. Violation balance is when people don't act as you expect. That could be seen as a good thing or a bad thing, depending on the situation. And Judy Burgoon, she's a professor at the University of Arizona, and she's the author of Expectancy Violation Theory. And she's also authored many other books and theories, and she's really, really passionate about human interactions. And she's also really passionate about sharing her expertise and her knowledge with others to help other people become better communicators. I'm going to focus on the clip in Luca where Luca and Alberto meet humans for the first time. And I always like to start on the bright side. So the boys got their first taste of gelato, which if you've never had gelato, you're missing out. You definitely need to try it. It's amazing. But how they got the gelato is not so great. So they were in a human village and they were very underprepared. They didn't know what to expect, and they had heard a phrase that they didn't take the time to learn what it really meant. So they walked up to some nice ladies, and Luca said, "What's wrong with you, stupido?" And for some reason, these ladies did not appreciate that interaction. So what happened next did not go according to Lucas's expectancies. They yelled at him and they smashed gelato on his head. Now, this was a less than ideal situation for everyone involved. The poor ladies were not expecting to be called stupido, but for the sake of this presentation, I'm going to be talking about the perspective of Luca during this interaction. So first, his threat threshold had already been surpassed. He was already too close for comfort when he had entered the human village. So he was very much feeling threatened. His expectancies were not met. By saying, "What's wrong with you, stupido?" he was expecting it to be kind of a nice greeting that wouldn't have any kind of adverse reaction. His personal space was encroached on by these ladies. He was not expecting for them to, hit them with their purse and get gelato smashed on their heads. And then last, their violation balance was not a good interaction. It can be good or bad, and this was a bad interaction that did not go according to plan, and the risk that he took did not pay off in this case. I think there are a few things that Luca could have done to have a better outcome with his first interaction with humans. One thing I would recommend would be for him to learn and respect cultures. If he had taken the time to really understand what he was saying before he said it, and if he had learned what the cultural norms were of that village at that time, I think that would have really helped him have a very different experience than what he had. Another recommendation would be to use the empirical method of learning to observe and to study, and he could do those from a distance where he felt comfortable first, and set experiments and do what he could to prepare for this interaction before actually just diving in and having an interaction without any kind of preparation. The other thing is he could have really worked on his skills and knowledge as a communicator that he could have brought to the interaction, and it would have really increased his pre-interactional expectations. And by doing that, I think it really would have helped him just be better prepared to have this interaction, and things could have ended a little differently for him. He would have never gotten gelato, but he could have had a much better interaction with someone. I think you can learn a lot from what others do well and also what others do not so well. So here are a few things that I learned from Luca's interaction in this scene. One thing is to learn as much as you can. If they had learned more before going to this interaction, it would have helped them. Luckily, later on in the film, Luca does decide to take his education further and starts on his journey to learn as much as he can. Another thing is to take those calculated risks. Although this interaction didn't go so well and they could have done more beforehand, at least they took action and they did something about it. It can be scary to break out of the norm and to take risks, but if you do that, then you may get what you're looking for and you may even get something even better. Another thing is to practice. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, just practice and practice. And communication is no different. I think that that by them practicing interactions with humans, then they could have better and better interactions, and they can learn more by observing and seeing how those interactions go. The last thing is, just in general, I think it's important to be your authentic self. During this film, at the beginning, they try to pretend to be someone they weren't. And once they decided to be their authentic selves, some people didn't like it, but a lot of people did, and they really were able to make really great bonds and friendships with people by being themselves. And I think that's an important lesson to learn, that not everyone may accept you at times, but the people that do accept you are the people that you really do want to have around and want in your life. And to close it off, I want to give a quote said by Luca's grandmother talking about Luca. She said, "Some people, they'll never accept him, but some will." And I think that if we continue to expand our knowledge and learn more about communication, then we too can find the people that will accept us, and we can live better lives. Thank you.